For over 10,000 cycles, the Volari had known peace. Their cities floated in the skies of Iel Sun, built not of metal, but of light-hardened crystal, pulsing with harmony. A race of pacifists, philosophers, and biologists, they had transcended violence long ago. The Volari Council believed in nurturing life, not conquering it. Their reach stretched across 6 star systems, and wherever they touched, they cultivated calm. Then they found Earth. The blue marble was a forgotten relic. The ancient beacon planted by the ancients, long thought silent, blinked to life after millennia. Initial scans showed a once dominant but now dormant sentient species, humans. Their world was quiet, cities buried under moss and time, no active technology, no orbiting satellites. It was as if they had simply vanished. Counselor Erowin, Speaker of the Harmonies, was the first to suggest it. They were fierce once, he said, reviewing fragmented records. But the flame burned too bright. And then it burned out. His voice, like all Volari, resonated musically, a chime over wind. He smiled softly as he floated in the garden chamber, his luminous tendrils trailing behind him. We owe them a kindness. They shaped their world. It's only right we give them back their place. The council agreed. After all, awakening a lost species was a sacred act, a moral obligation. They landed on Earth with quiet reverence. Biomechanical drones whirred silently as they rebuilt ruined cities, repaired decayed infrastructure, and purified the poisoned seas. In the heart of what was once called Europe, they found the largest stasis vault, buried under what remained of Geneva. Inside, 2,000 humans in cryogenic suspension. Their bodies were intact, their minds difficult to read. Volari empathics could not sense them fully. Their thoughts were twisted, sharp, knotted. But curiosity won. Erowin stood before the main stasis pod, its surface etched with human glyphs. The name on the side was Dr. Alara Miles, UN Survival Lead. With a whisper of intention and a pulse of light, he awakened her. Her eyes snapped open. Then she screamed, a sound that pierced the chamber and startled even the calmest Volari. It was not a cry of fear, but of fury, as if she had awoken in the middle of a war. The chamber lights flared. Biomonitors pinged urgently. She tore free of the monitoring cables and staggered to her feet, drenched in frost and instinct. Her voice rasped, her eyes wild. Status report. Who the hell brought me back? Erowin stepped forward, arms raised in the universal gesture of peace. We are the Volari. You are safe. Your people were preserved. We come in harmony. Alara froze. Her eyes narrowed. Volari? Not human. No. We are caretakers. We have revived. You idiots. Her voice was low now, cold, calculating. You absolute naive idiots. She walked past him, legs shaking but growing steadier by the second. She looked around at the awakened humans still in stasis, and her voice trembled with restrained horror. You don't know what you've done. Erowin tilted his head, confused. We returned you to life. You unleashed a weapon you can't understand. Alara turned to him, eyes like flint. We weren't preserved because we were the best of humanity. We were preserved because we were the worst. Behind her, another pod hissed open. A man emerged, heavily scarred, half his face augmented with cybernetics. His first words were, "Target acquired." Alara answered calmly, "No targets yet. But we're surrounded." Volari drones began to buzz with caution as more humans stirred. Erowin, for the first time in a millennium, felt something foreign, something that did not harmonize. It crawled up his luminous spine like ice. Fear. He opened a communication link to the council. Recall all expeditionary vessels. Lock planetary orbit. Do not send reinforcements. But why? Came the counselor's confused reply. Erowin looked at Alara Miles, who was now accessing a command terminal like a predator sniffing blood. Because we didn't awaken a people, he whispered. We awakened a war. The cryovault doors sealed behind them with a heavy clunk as Alara and the scarred man, Commander Mason Vex, surveyed the room. More pods were hissing open, their pale blue lights fading into crimson as emergency overrides kicked in. These weren't civilians. Not even close. Vex, Ilara said. Initiate low-tier containment protocols. No lethal force unless provoked. He gave a short nod, a glint of excitement in his augmented eye. Still remember how to play nice. Barely. Across the chamber, Valari observers were beginning to gather, elegant forms floating with concern and fascination. Erowin tried again, voice measured and melodic. You must understand, we found no threat. Your species had gone silent. We believed restoring you was an act of mercy. You don't know what mercy means, Ilara snapped, moving to a wall panel. You think peace is the natural state of the universe. It's not. Peace is a lull in the war you haven't noticed yet. Her fingers flew across the interface, somehow still compatible with human biometrics after all these centuries. Lights flickered. Access codes verified. She bypassed the vault's AI lockout with something terrifying. Familiarity. You preserved military assets, Erowin said quietly. Not colonists. Not diplomats. That's right. Mason cracked his neck. You see farmers in stasis, Valari? Because I see assassins, warlords, tactical AI cores, and one nuclear-laced microbiologist who used to dream up extinction events. Erowin floated back slightly. But why would your kind preserve such danger? Insurance, Ilara said. The Earth was dying. Climate collapse, AI rebellions, global wars. So the last governments didn't save the hopeful. They saved the useful, just in case someone like you came along. At the far end of the chamber, another pod slid open. A woman stepped out slowly, tall, eyes gleaming with bioluminescent implants. She wore the insignia of the defunct Pan-Pacific Blackwatch. She scanned the room. We online. Getting there, Ilara replied. Welcome back, Sergeant Kale. Kale nodded at Mason, then looked to the Valari with unmistakable hostility. They soft. Think pacifism's a survival strategy, Mason said, smirking. We'll fix that. Behind them, dormant systems stirred to life. Deep under the cryo vault, old servers buzzed as long-dead satellites reconnected. Somewhere, a dormant orbital platform blinked green for the first time in 400 years. Ilara paused, staring up at the awakening data stream. We still have teeth. Not as many, not as sharp. But enough. Erowin stepped forward again, carefully. Please. This is a misunderstanding. We mean no harm. The awakening was our gift to you. Then let me return the favor, Ilara said, turning slowly to face him. You woke us without knowing who we were, what we were made for. You thought awakening was kindness, but sometimes things are buried for a reason. Suddenly, alarms rang out, not from the humans, but from the Valari ships in orbit. An urgent voice broke through on Erowin's comlink. Counselor, unknown signals detected. Ancient human constructs, launching from polar orbit. We are detecting weapon systems. Erowin's composure cracked. You had orbital weapons? Had. Ilara raised an eyebrow. Oh, Erowin, this is just the sandbox. You haven't even seen the grown-up toys. Back in orbit, a dormant weapons platform long thought lost, codename Horizon Spire, activated fully. Its solar arrays unfurled like wings. The AI core inside spoke a single phrase into the void. Threat proximity, Xeno's presence. Perimeter breach, executing defense matrix. It locked onto the Valari research cruiser with a motionless precision and fired. From the surface, a column of light lanced skyward, one of Earth's forgotten suns reborn, and in orbit, the Valari vessel disintegrated in a flash of molten glass and plasma rain. Erowin stared at the sky, stunned, as a species' first casualty in over 10,000 years marked the heavens. Ilara looked at him with a flicker of something like pity. Now you understand. You didn't wake a lost civilization. You woke a survival machine. The sky above the ruined vault shimmered with a distant echo of plasma blasts as the Valari scrambled to regroup. The once peaceful explorers now found themselves in the crosshairs of a long-forgotten war machine, one they never imagined they'd awaken. Counselor Erowin floated amid his shattered fleet's remnants, his luminous tendrils quivering with doubt. The ancient protocols etched into his mind now felt woefully inadequate. He opened a secure channel. Council, we underestimated them. This is no simple reawakening. These humans are a tactical force, organized, lethal, and driven by old conflicts we don't understand. Withdraw and regroup, the voice from the council was tight, anxious. We cannot. Erwin's melodic voice faltered for the first time. They control orbital weaponry. They've already destroyed one cruiser. We must contain this threat on the ground before it spreads. On Earth's surface, Ilara moved swiftly, coordinating her revived forces. She stood beside Sergeant Kale, who scanned the horizon through bioluminescent ocular implants. We're outnumbered, outgunned, and outclassed in tech. But they don't know what we're capable of, Kale muttered. It's time to remind them. Ilara nodded grimly. The Volari think peace is a weapon against us. But we're survivors of the worst humanity created. We adapt, evolve, and fight. Suddenly, her comlink crackled. Ilara, this is Mason. We're detecting multiple Volari biopsionic operatives attempting to infiltrate the vault perimeter. Ilara's eyes narrowed. They want to neutralize us quietly. We won't let them. Back in orbit, the Volari's high empath, Shara Length, reached out with a focused mind probe, an attempt to connect with the human's collective psyche. But the result was a shattering blow. The human minds were fragmented, wild, and bound by deep layers of trauma and distrust. Instead of calm, they responded with waves of aggression and suspicion. Erwin's heart sank. They're not a unified species anymore. They're fractured factions, some military, some remnants of intelligence agencies, others fanatics clinging to old wars. The ground battle began in earnest. Volari drones, delicate and precise, tried to subdue without harm. But the humans countered with brutal efficiency, EMP grenades, modified firearms from long-dead arsenals, even crude but deadly traps. The peaceful ambassadors were forced into retreat, shielding injured teammates and calling for reinforcements. In the midst of chaos, Ilara approached Erwin under a truce flag, a gesture steeped in caution. "This isn't personal," she said coldly. "You woke a beast you don't understand. Your galaxy may be ready for peace, but we are ready for war. So tell me, why did you bring us back? And what do you want?" Erwin looked at her, his light dimmed by regret. "Because peace is our truth. Because life deserves a chance to heal. Because the universe is greater than war. We thought if we gave you back your future, you might choose differently." Ilara's expression hardened. "The future is written in blood, counselor. You don't get to rewrite it just because you want to believe in peace." The tension hung thick in the air, a fragile thread between potential alliance and total annihilation. Then, from the distance, a new sound emerged, a low rumble, faint but growing. Kale's comm crackled urgently. Multiple unknown ships entering atmosphere. Not Volari, not human. Erwin's tendrils stiffened. Xenon raiders. The last thing we need now. Ilara's eyes flashed with fury and determination. "Looks like we're all going to learn why the ancients buried us here. Together." The alien ships tore through Earth's stratosphere like jagged shards of obsidian. Sleek, black, and humming with cold menace, they eclipsed the sun, casting the battle-scarred Vault City into unnatural twilight. Neither Volari nor humans had expected this. Ilara tightened her grip on her plasma rifle, eyes narrowing as the newcomers descended. "Xenon raiders," she muttered grimly. "Pirates and scavengers. The galaxy's bottom feeders." Beside her, Mason Vex scanned the sky, cybernetic eye flickering with tactical analysis. They don't care who's in charge. They want resources. Tech survivors. Erwin, still recovering from the shock of the Volari fleet's decimation, reached out mentally to the council. "Counselors," he urged, "we must put aside our differences, temporarily. The Xenon will destroy us all if left unchecked." A rare silence fell over the human command center as Ilara considered the offer. She was no stranger to alliances of convenience. "Fine," she said at last. "But if you so much as try to lock us up again, this alliance ends." The Volari Council sent emissaries to meet with the humans. The meeting took place in the heart of the vault, a neutral zone suffused with a dim, blue glow. The air crackled with tension as two very different species sat face to face. Erwin spoke first. "We propose a joint defense. Share technology, coordinate tactics. The Xenon must not gain access to Earth's archives." Alara's gaze was sharp. "What do you offer? Your peace didn't stop your fleet from getting vaporized. We share our biodefense drones, our healing technologies. Our empathic operatives will work to quell hostilities and injuries." Kale, arms crossed, added, "And we share what we know about old Earth's weapon caches. You'll need firepower if you want to survive the Xenon." The Xenon raiders, sensing the rising threat, launched their first assault. Massive black ships unleashed swarms of drone fighters that swirled like deadly hornets. The Vault City's defensive turrets flared to life, Volari crystal light intertwining with human kinetic weapon fire. The battle was brutal and chaotic. Volari biotic fields shielded human soldiers from plasma blasts, while human sharpshooters picked off Xenon pilots with ruthless precision. Amid the firefight, Alara led a strike team on a daring raid against a Xenon command ship docked nearby. Their mission: to seize control of the enemy's hacking interface and disable their drone swarm. The raid was near suicidal, but the humans' tenacity and the Volari's advanced stealth technology proved a deadly combination. As the command ship's systems fell silent, the swarm faltered, giving defenders precious breathing room. Back on the ground, Erwin observed the change with cautious hope. Perhaps peace and war could coexist, if only for survival. But as the dust settled, a new transmission cut through the comm. The voice was mechanical, distorted, but unmistakable. "Unidentified biological entities. Cease all hostilities. You are to be quarantined. This is the Ancient's directive." Neither Volari nor humans recognized the source. But the warning was clear. They had awakened something far older and far more dangerous than a forgotten race. The Vault City, still ringing with the echoes of battle, fell eerily silent as the transmission repeated. "Unidentified biological entities. Cease all hostilities. You are to be quarantined. This is the Ancient's directive." Alara's fingers tightened around her plasma rifle. Who the hell are the Ancients? Erwin's luminous form dimmed in thought. The Ancients were the original architects of the galaxy's sentient species, keepers of order and balance. Their legacy is woven into the very fabric of the cosmos. But their influence was believed to have faded eons ago. Kale scoffed. "Faded or not, they just told us we're biohazards. Quarantined. Like plague rats." Suddenly, the sky flickered. A colossal ship, vast beyond comprehension, materialized in low orbit, a ghostly relic of the Ancients, dormant no longer. Its surface was an intricate mosaic of light and shadow, pulsating with a rhythm that felt alive. The Ancients' vessel broadcasted a wave of energy that rippled through both Volari and human tech. Power grids faltered, weapons dimmed. Even the Volari's empathic abilities were muted. Erwin struggled to hold his composure. "They're enforcing the quarantine. We cannot resist." Alara barked orders to her team. "Focus on survival. No heroics." The Ancient's voice came again, this time clearer and deeper, reverberating through every comm channel. "You have been deemed an unstable evolutionary force. Your awakening risks cosmic balance. Surrender your autonomy or be contained indefinitely." Mason Vex's jaw clenched. "Containment? That's a death sentence." Alara stared at Erwin, eyes blazing. "You brought us back. Now you have to deal with what that means." Erwin's voice was barely a whisper. "We sought peace, but peace cannot be forced." Kale scanned the vault, her bioluminescent implants flickering. "We need a plan and fast. They can disable our tech, but not our will." A surge of determination rippled through the humans. They were survivors, fighters. They would not be prisoners of ancient gods. The Volari Council convened in emergency, weighing the options. "Can we negotiate?" Erwin asked. One elder, her voice heavy, replied, "The Ancients do not negotiate with threats to order. They only enforce." Suddenly, A hidden console beneath the vault floor flickered to life, a relic of the ancients' own design, a beacon. Elara stepped forward, her voice steady. Maybe it's not about fighting them. Maybe it's about understanding what they fear. Together, Valari and humans prepared to access the beacon, hoping to unlock secrets buried deep, secrets that might save them from cosmic quarantine. But as they worked, shadows stirred in the vault's deepest recesses, remnants of old Earth's darkest experiments, long forgotten and now awake. Because some mistakes, once made, cannot be undone. The ancient beacon thrummed beneath their feet, a living pulse of encoded knowledge left behind by the ancients. Elara and Erowin worked side by side, fingers dancing over alien glyphs and holographic runes, fusing Valari light magic with human hacking prowess. Kale stood guard, her eyes sweeping shadows with deadly precision. Suddenly, the chamber shook violently. From the darkest vault recesses emerged something far older than any of them had expected, a biomechanical colossus, a weaponized hybrid of ancient Earth tech and alien biotech. Its eyes glowed crimson, its steps crushing centuries of dust. Containment failed. A grinding voice echoed through the chamber. Not human, not Valari. Protocol override. Self-defense engaged. Elara's pulse quickened. This is what the ancients feared. This is the legacy we almost forgot. Erowin's glow flared, pushing out a shield of pure empathic light. But even that seemed to flicker against the creature's armor. The ancients' quarantine wasn't just to contain humanity. It was to contain this weapon. The Colossus advanced, annihilating all defenses. In that moment, Elara made a choice. "We don't have to be defined by the past," she shouted, rallying the humans and Valari alike. "We choose what we become, together." She keyed a signal to Mason and Kale. "Initiate the Ascendance Protocol. Let's show the ancients what humanity can be." The vault's walls shimmered as human and Valari tech merged, flooding the Colossus with energy, not to destroy, but to awaken the dormant consciousness within, a mind long buried beneath millennia of war and ice. The creature's eyes shifted from rage to confusion, then recognition. It was not just a weapon. It was a guardian, a sentinel meant to protect humanity's true potential. As the ancient ship loomed overhead, a brilliant surge of light erupted from the vault and spiraled into space, a signal of defiance, hope, and unity. The quarantine lifted. Elara looked at Erowin, her face marked by battle, but radiant with something new. "You taught us peace can be a weapon," she said. Erowin smiled softly, his light steady once more. "And you reminded us peace is worth fighting for." The galaxy had witnessed the awakening of humanity, not as a forgotten relic, but as a force reborn, a force that would carve its own future. The end.